Now, DG, what was it you were telling me about that gravestone there? Benjamin King?
I cannot tell you the year that the church was started in Hendersonville, the First Baptist Church.
Uh-huh.
But Reverend Benjamin King, sir, was one of the beginners of the church, the First Baptist Church in Hendersonville. And if he pastored there, I cannot answer that question. But he was there with the group when the church was organized and started the church. And I cannot tell the year because I've heard and forgot it.
Well, it's documented. You know, we know in Robert Hammy's book, Brief Baptist Biographies, all that's documented.
Right,
and also Mud Creek.
Yeah, he was involved in Mud Creek. Matter of fact, he's a preacher at Mud Creek, wasn't he, Daddy?
He was preached there. He also preached in the old French Broad Baptist where Joseph, Benjamin's brother, is buried.
At that time, there wasn't many churches right in this area.
Right.
And
what did he say?
There was, most all of them were Baptists.
What a heritage.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's one of them.
What was wonderful to think about, there was some of the folks did have the churches on the mind.
Very much.
He, Benjamin King, sir, preached an evangelist also in the area of Upper South Carolina,
right?
Pickens County, and some of these near counties.
He was a genuine circuit riding preacher.
A circuit rider preacher.
Yeah, yeah. Which at the time, that's all there was.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know.
Talking about something
But now,
wait a month to get a preacher.
I want to tell you a little
exactly.
About, right, I suppose right along in that area, it's changed since we was up here the first
Sure.
time. And when we found the stone, that was quite something.
Yeah. Now you're talking about the original headstone.
The original headstone of Samuel King.
There was no military marker here. It was still over at Mud Creek
right
Baptist.
In this area, somewhere here, there was at that time an old chestnut tree. Now, you see, chestnuts were on their way out.
Right. The blight had killed them.
I mean, it's a regular old. We called it the chestnut and Pictumenia chestnut.
Oh yeah.
But the old tree wasn't that large. It was a smaller tree, but it was branched out and it was already on the ground.
Wow.
Laying down.
Yeah.
Walking around in that area, we found a stone covered with leaves.
Mm.
And we started moving and we realized it's broken. But we stood it up again, the limbs of that chestnut tree, and kind of propped it up there.
Yeah.
It was broken, but we kind of stood it together where we knew it was the same stone.
Right, right.
The same.
Yeah.
And that's how we left it from the first time for a good while, and then we came up in later years and put the old stone, and his wife's stone was the mystery.
Right.
Could not find it. We looked.
Now we're talking Elizabeth Davenport, her stone.
Yes.
Elizabeth Underwood Davenport.
When they ever who tore the stone down, it was not too far from where his stone was.
Mm-hmm.
But his stone was a different type of texture
Yes.
to hers.
Right.
And his stone held up pretty good laying on the ground.
Right.
But hers, we still looked over it, And I don't remember how many. There's several ladies here, and they were looking. They were interested in finding that stone. And I was walking around, feeling of my feet. I said, you know, there's something right here. And I thought them women gonna break their necks getting over there.
Wow.
Start digging to see what it was. And when they did, they uncovered the old stone.
Elizabeth's headstone.
And when we moved it out, the whole texture of that stone almost just slid right off.
Wow.
It
The
was
writing.
Sand, kind of a sand texture.
Yeah.
But it had enough on it till it had her name.
At that time, it had you could
And
actually make her name
I
out.
wish I could.
Yeah.
I could. When the ladies got a hold of it, it's possibly that's it.
That's about
there.
where it was, wasn't it, Daddy? Yeah.
Oh, that's for sure. That's
It's
it.
the old stone.
Yeah.
It's
See,
the headstone.
when I first came here, you could still read 1827, which was the date, the year that she died.
Gladstone told me.
But it's-
Adrian was up here that time. At that
Right.
time, my brother. This has been about 1995 or 90 in the mid 90s or somewhere in that time frame.
Right.
Which was after we found Samuel stones a good long while. But we had legal access, and that's when Daddy and all they were having it working.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah,
so Gladstone said you could read her name really clear, but the stuff just sloughed right off, and
Yeah.
the dates, and
Wow.
it definitely was
it
Elizabeth.
was the texture of the stone. It was more of a sand,
Yes.
like it coated almost.
Well, I took a picture in July of 2005 when you could still read 1827.
Well, I'll be dog. That's good.
And at that time, it was propped up against that little holly tree that used to be in
Yeah,
here, you know. Now, if y'all recall, when we placed the headstones, the replica
that's right.
headstones, that holly tree, you know, was in
Growing
bad
right up
shape.
through-
And yeah, and we cut that holly tree down. But we took Elizabeth's headstone and placed it as the footstone. We put the
Well-
replica headstone in for her, and we fashioned it just like Samuel's, you know, shaped
Right.
the same as the original headstone of Samuel's. We made hers, the replica, like it. And then this right over here, that is actually the footstone, is actually the original headstone
yeah.
for Elizabeth's
This is the
grave.
original. Yeah,
That one right there.
I was looking at the original now.
Yeah.
When that stone, we first uncovered it was more in shape of a arch.
Yes.
It's deteriorated.
It didn't have the shape
was-
of these other ones,
no,
the curve
It was
shape.
round.
similar to that little stone.
It was round shape.
Yes.
But it was a mystery. That thing had laid there on that ground so long, and the moisture had taken its toll.
Yes.
And that stone, I reckon all of that
Mm-hmm.
surface just peeled off.
The,
Just fell off.
Oh, soapstone. Isn't that what they call that
either
type
that or
rocks?
Maybe just a field sandstone.
It's a
there.
field
Sandstone, okay,
type
yeah.
of field stone. we
Yeah.
call it.
Yeah.
But you know,
You could not, they would not stand up just,
To the
they
elements.
would come apart. I mean, they
Yes.
start showing.
Yeah.
It's hard for
They-
them to find unless it's type of a quarry of some kind of
Right.
real hard stone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And course-
those stones had laid here in that position and condition, Samuel's and hers.
but they were other stones. We
They've been
could
here
see
since the
that.
50s at least, because the
That
people
big
from
sharp
almost from
stone there
Alabama,
was
I believe
sure
it
was a headstone.
or one of the ladies who was a member of the Daughters of the American Revolution came here, and they came from out of town, and I cannot remember, the lady was from Andalusia, Louisiana or Alabama.
Yes.
And she
She was a tailor.
and she made reference to the fact that those stones were laying down and the faces were turned down to keep them from deteriorating, and knew that someday, if they stood them up, that the information would be lost. And this was, I think, in the 50s
My gracious.
when they were here.
When they saw them laying
And
down,
of
so
course
sometime prior to
And they
that.
spoke with Sadie Patton and several of the other people in the area to, find
Right.
this place.
Wow.
That's what I understand. But
This grave, that's been Benjamin's wife's grave.
Right, and she was a shipman.
But anyway, somebody had been up here, or some had came and had a big hole dug in that grave.
Yes.
That's the reason it's down now.
we filled it back in.
See,
Yeah.
it's settled down.
And they stole Preacher Benjamin's headstone.
Yeah, that's
The
right.
stone the Benjamin stone was gone.
Right.
We did not find it.
Right.
But there was holes where they had dug in this grave, and seems it was a small hole dug in this one.
Right.